Once upon a time, deep in a lush green forest filled with tall trees and chirping birds, there lived a tiny, curious mouse. He was small but full of energy, always running here and there, nibbling on nuts and making new friends. Nearby, in a dark, rocky cave covered in moss, there lived a huge bear who had gone into hibernation months ago. The big bear was strong, kind-hearted, but also incredibly noisy when he slept. Every night, his loud snoring echoed through the entire forest like rolling thunder. The little mouse, who lived not far from the cave, could barely sleep all winter because of the bear's constant snoring. He tried covering his ears with leaves, building a small wall of twigs, and even sleeping inside a hollow log, but nothing worked. One bright morning, when the snow had melted and the warm sun began to shine again, the mouse decided he had had enough. He marched toward the bear's cave, determined to wake him up. "Mr. Bear, Mr. Bear," he squeaked loudly, standing near the entrance of the cave. "Hey, Mr. Bear, it's summer. You can wake up now." The bear didn't move an inch. His loud snoring continued, shaking the leaves off nearby branches. The little mouse covered his ears in frustration. "Oh, come on! How can anyone sleep through that?" he muttered. Then he got an idea. "Maybe I just need to be louder." The mouse ran back to his tiny house and came out carrying a shiny brass bugle that he had once found near a campsite. He placed the bugle to his mouth, took a deep breath, and blew with all his might. The sound blared through the forest like a trumpet of thunder. Birds flew from trees, rabbits hid in burrows, but the bear didn't even twitch. His deep, rumbling snores continued. The little mouse dropped the bugle and sighed, exhausted. "This is impossible. He'll sleep forever if I don't do something." Feeling hopeless, the mouse wandered through the forest, dragging his little feet. Soon, he met his friends, the squirrel, the rabbit, and the owl. They saw his sad face and asked, "What happened? Little mouse, why do you look so upset?" The mouse sighed. "Oh, don't even ask, my friends. All winter, I couldn't sleep because of the bear's snoring. It was so loud that even the trees seemed to shake, and now, even though summer has come, he still won't wake up." The owl blinked his wise eyes and said, Maybe someone with a louder voice can wake him." The squirrel twitched his tail and said, "I know who, the lion. The lion can help you. His roar is so loud that everyone jumps when they hear it." The mouse's whiskers trembled. "The lion, the king of the forest. Oh, I don't know, he's so big and scary." But the rabbit nodded. "Trust me, if anyone can wake the bear, it's the lion." Though the little mouse felt nervous, he decided to give it a try. Followed the winding paths through the forest until he reached the lioness den near a big rocky hill. The lion was sleeping peacefully in front of his cave, his golden mane glowing under the sun. The mouse's heart pounded. "Maybe I should just go back," he whispered to himself. "He might eat me before I even explain." But just as he turned to leave, he accidentally stepped on a dry branch. Crack! The sound echoed, and the lion's eyes snapped open. His deep, powerful voice rumbled, "Who's there? What are you doing in front of my cave?" The mouse froze, shaking. Well, good morning, Your Majesty. I'm so sorry to wake you up. I came to ask for your help." The lion yawned and stared at him. "Help from me? You're not even big enough to be a snack, little mouse. Why should I help you?" The mouse gulped and said bravely, "Dear mighty lion, my neighbor, the big bear, has been sleeping all winter, and he still won't wake up. His snoring is so loud that I haven't slept for months. I tried everything, but nothing works. But your roar is the loudest in the forest. Free holiday. One roar from you could wake him up easily." The lion flicked his tail lazily. I am the king of the forest. I don't have time for silly problems like that." With that, he turned away and walked off. The mouse's ears drooped sadly. He watched as the lion disappeared behind the trees. But what the mouse didn't know was that the lion wasn't going back to sleep. The mighty beast had been feeling terribly itchy lately. He didn't want anyone to see him scratching himself like a wild cat, so he went deeper into the forest, away from everyone. Meanwhile, the mouse wandered sadly along the path, dragging his tail. Suddenly, he heard strange sounds, wheezing, huffing, and rustling from a nearby clearing. Curious, he followed the noise and gasped when he saw the lion rubbing himself furiously against a tree. "Mr. Lion, what's wrong?" the mouse asked. The lion jumped in embarrassment. "You haven't seen or heard anything, mouse. Understand," he growled. But the mouse's sharp eyes noticed tiny jumping bugs on the lion's fur. "Oh, you have fleas. That's why you're itching so much. Don't worry, I can help you." The lion snorted. "You help me? You're just a tiny mouse. Leave me alone." But before the lion could shake him off, the brave little mouse leapt onto his golden mane and began searching through the thick fur. "Get off me!" the lion roared, shaking his body, but the mouse clung tightly. "Hold still, I'm almost done," the mouse shouted. The lion kept scratching, rubbing his back against the tree, but the mouse continued bravely, tossing out fleas one by one. The more the lion rubbed, the worse the itch got. "I can't stop," the lion shouted, scratching himself with his big paws. Wait, stop moving. You'll crush me," squeaked the mouse, holding on for dear life. But the lion, desperate to stop the itching, ran toward the nearby lake and jumped right in. Splash! The water sprayed everywhere. The mouse screamed, "Mr. Lion, get out! I'll drown!" The lion quickly climbed out of the lake, but then shook his body to dry off, sending water everywhere. The mouse barely managed to hold on to his wet fur. "Almost done," the mouse said, coughing. "Just a few more fleas." Finally, the mouse threw away the last few fleas. The lion stopped moving, panting heavily. Then he blinked. "Wait, it's gone. The itching's gone." He looked down at the tiny mouse and felt a wave of shame. "Little mouse, when you asked for help, I was rude and proud. I thought you were too small to matter. But you've saved me from such a miserable problem." "Thank you," the mouse smiled. "You're welcome, Mr. Lion. Everyone needs help sometimes, big or small." The lion chuckled softly. "You're wiser than you look," the mouse said. "Now that you're feeling better, will you come with me to wake the bear? I still can't sleep with all that snoring." The lion nodded. "Hop on my back, little one. Let's go together." As they walked through the forest side by side, all the animals peeked from their hiding spots in surprise. Never before had they seen the mighty lion walking gently with a mouse on his back. When they reached the bear's cave, the air was filled with the familiar thunderous snoring. "There it is," said the mouse. "Do you hear that?" The lion grinned. "That's louder than my roar." Too. A deep breath, his chest swelling. Then, with a mighty roar that shook the ground, he bellowed right into the cave. The roar was so powerful that even the rocks trembled and the leaves fell from trees. Inside, the bear's eyes flew open. He jumped to his feet, bumping his head on the cave ceiling. "What happened? Is it summer already? Is something wrong? Is the sun out? Where am I?" he shouted, stumbling out of the cave in confusion. The forest animals gathered around, laughing with joy. The rabbit clapped his paws, the squirrel jumped with excitement, and even the owl smiled. A bear blinked in the bright sunlight and saw everyone laughing. "Did I miss something?" he asked. The little mouse stepped forward and said, "You slept through winter and half of summer. Mr. Bear, your snoring was so loud we all thought there was thunder every night." The bear scratched his head, embarrassed. "Oh dear, I didn't mean to keep everyone awake." The lion smiled. "It's all right, big fellow. At least you're awake now." The bear chuckled and stretched. "Well, I guess it's time for breakfast. Anyone want some honey?" Everyone laughed, too. The lion looked down at the mouse and said, "See, little friend, your courage and kindness helped not only me, but the whole forest." The mouse smiled proudly. "And you, Mr. Lion, showed that even a king can help his friends." The lion nodded with respect. From that day on, the lion and the mouse became close friends. The lion learned to listen to even the smallest creatures, and the mouse learned that bravery doesn't depend on size. The bear, now wide awake, promised to build his cave farther away so no one would have to hear his snoring again. And every night, under the twinkling stars, the forest became peaceful once more, except for the cheerful laughter of friends who had learned the true meaning of helping one another.